everyone. Lisa Steffen, your mortgage professional at American Pacific Mortgage, and welcome to Market Monday. I am so excited to have Stephanie Bischoff with me today from Gilpin Realty, where we are going to talk all things selling, listing of your home. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for being here today. Can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself as far as the business and how long you've been in it, and when you're not buying or selling and listing homes for people, what is it that you like to do?
Well, hey, Lisa, thank you for having me today. I am Stephanie Bischoff with Gilpin Realty, and I have been selling real estate full-time since 2009 when the market crashed, the first time since I've had my license. And I mostly focus on listing homes and helping buyers find homes. I also do work with a lot of investors that are purchasing multifamily properties and helping them figure out rate of return for their investments. So that's my specialty that
Awesome.
I've been on. And things have been a little bit crazy the last couple months, but a little bit slower than normal for first and second quarter, but things are starting to pick up right now. And the phone's been ringing again, so that's always really good sign. And
Right.
looking forward to getting some new listings up and getting them, getting back to normal.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a different time for all of us. And as we are slowly transitioning out of our stay at home and that things will get back to normal eventually, our new normal for a while. So that's for sure. So when you're not doing the homes, what are you doing for fun right now outside of work?
Well, right now, since we're kind of stuck at home right now, but lots of outdoor gardening, home improvements, just focusing on the kids and just family time right now. And it's been a lot of fun. This break has been, I think, well needed for everybody to just kind of reconnect and slow down and get back to our roots. So
Right.
it's been a lot of fun. We ride a lot of quads and been clearing our property and doing a lot of big bonfires and
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that's one thing that I've noticed around where I live is everybody's house is just a little bit more prepared because everyone's been home a little bit more. So that's great. That's great. So let me ask you, as far as on the listing side, you hear a lot of people, and I get asked this question a lot. Well, what's the best time to list? What would you say if someone was to ask you, what's the best time to list a home?
well, it depends on if you're going to be buying another property or if you are just going to sell and then, not buy again. So historically, the spring is always, the best time to list because the prices get, spring pricing is always higher. So you get, more money and multiple offers and a lot of people have their tax returns by March and they're just ready to put a down payment down, and the market moves very fast during that time. And so typically we don't see a lot of inventory the last 2-3 years until about April. And so April is when everybody gets on the market, April, May. However, we always tell them, March. So, because March inventory, there's so many buyers still out in March, but there's never enough inventory. So I would say mid-March is the best time to list through, before all this stuff with COVID happened. I would say, we would recommend not listing, the first part of June just because of, school gets out and people plan vacations and graduations and, they're not focused on house hunting. They're focused on, celebrating and going on vacation and that kind of stuff. And so,
Right.
but I don't think that that's going to be normal this year because our spring market is going to be now later in this year. It's more summer focused. So I have a feeling the summer, because everybody's been, not everybody, but most of people, Lowe's and Home Depot's has been out of control lately. So everybody's been working on their houses. So they're going to be getting ready to get some inventory on the market. So that's pretty
Right.
promising.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely a different year with all of that. So if someone is ready to list their house or they're considering listing, what would you say is like the top 3 things that they should do, where they can get either the return on the investment, break even, or profit, make some profit on it. So what would you say the top 3 things would be?
Um, I would say go through the house and make sure it's move-in ready. So kitchens and bathrooms, you're always going to get your return on investment. Don't make it look like you DIY'd it yourself. Make it look professional. And then staging the home when it's on the market, professional photography, someone that, is going to really showcase what you've worked really hard to, present to find yourself a good buyer, and that way you're also going to have a smooth inspection if you have all of your items taken care of beforehand, and then the process goes a lot smoother. So I would say definitely if you're have an outdated kitchen or bathroom, I would say definitely invest in that. Paint and flooring is relatively inexpensive compared to many things, so it just makes things shine. Also, if you are thinking about selling, I have a complete pre-listing checklist that kind of goes and breaks it down room by room as to everything that you should do, as far as organizing closets and dusting window tracks and just the details.
Right.
And it's a checklist, so it's nice because you can take it and do as many as you want or not do any of them. But it's just, it helps for those people who like to, go one step at a time and go one room at a time and get things done. And in that checklist, I mean, most of that stuff is just, your time and labor. So if you have extra time right now, I would be happy to give out that pre-listing checklist out, so you can start tackling it.
That's great. Yeah, and that's kind of nice that sometimes people think they have to put all this money into it before they list it, but that's not always the case with it. Now, you had mentioned staging. So you think staging is important in a home, and why is staging important?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different philosophies behind staging. I mean, a lot of people these days, they do watch a lot of HGTV, and all those homes on HGTV are staged. And it's no secret anymore. A staged home is going to sell for more money than an unstaged home because it gives more vision to placement of furniture, decoration ideas. And that's what people are pinning on their Pinterest board, because they're just kind of grabbing other people's ideas and try to make their own out of it. And I think it just makes people feel more at home than a vacant house.
Right.
And it looks better in pictures. You get more depth of the house. It just all around markets and showcase better. So definitely recommend staging a house every single time. And if you are currently living in your house, we can, take your furniture and stuff that you have and your items, and, each person's case by case. Some people don't like their things touched. Some people are open to kind of moving things around to making it, look good and not closing off doorways and windows and, that kind of stuff. So
Right.
there's just so many ways to go about it. But I offer full service real estate. So with all of my customers, they get to talk to me directly, not a team, from beginning to end. So I handle everything from scheduling the photographers. I always do professional photography on my listings, staging. I've always done staging, but recently I am now doing it myself. So this is, a newer thing that I'm offering, to all of my clients now. And that right there is pretty valuable because it's very expensive to stage a house. I mean, to stage a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house, I mean, you're looking at $3,000 minimum a month for most staging companies. So if you have somebody that can, offer that service within, it's very valuable because it just, you don't have to schedule it. You don't have conflicts with other, vendors, and, it just gets done. And then you can control, when you need to take it down and move it and all of that. So luckily I have a husband who likes to help me.
That makes it nice. So you've got a nice little storage of furniture and accessories that you have available.
It's crazy right now. It's crazy. I got a whole second house right now. And so that second house is going to be getting out of my garage and storage space here very soon on a new listing.
No kidding. No kidding. Well, it's a really nice service that you offer, and probably not all agents have that ability to do it. So let's say somebody doesn't do the staging and you had mentioned the cost. Is that something that that the seller pays, or is that something that the real estate agent covers?
It can go either way. Honestly, it just depends on the negotiations of the listing agreement. I mean, if the commissions are going to get cut, then the broker's most likely not going to pay for those extra things that are going to make the house sell for more money, like the professional photography, the drones, the staging, the house cleanings, the extras, that really take the stress off the sellers. So if you're doing full service, it just makes things smoother and kind of just takes a lot of the headache out of the equation.
Right.
But once you start cutting things, like cutting commissions and then, this and that, then those costs do fall back onto the seller because there's just not enough wiggle room, and profit for an agent with their splits and dues and insurance and everything else they pay to work out that money, because it's all money you have to pay in before you even sell the house. So that the risk factor of, okay, am I going to go throw, $3,500 out on this property for staging and photography and then have it not sell, or have the seller pull it off the market? And then what? You're stuck with that bill.
Yeah, no kidding. That makes sense. Well, it's awesome that, especially being the full service like you are, that's what's so great about you, and I know you work really hard for your clients and take care of them both on the buying side as well as the selling side. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you to find out about either listing their house, or maybe they're in the market to buy a house, and I'll make sure that I have the information, but how do you like people to get in touch with you?
Oh, I have a device glued to me, it seems like, every moment. So, phone,
Here's
email.
mine.
I have 2 computers set up right here right now. They can call, text, email. My email is Stephanie@GilpinRealty.com, and my website Stephanie Bischoff at StephanieBischoff.com, and
Something like that.
my business Facebook page or my personal Facebook page, you can find me. It's public information.
That's great. Well, I love this information today, and I thank you so much for sharing it. And hopefully there's people watching today were able to get a little bit more information on the whole process and that. So thank you again, and stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your week.
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa.
All right. Bye.